So I am out here starting the tear down on the Roper 18T Hydro. So as you can see, I got a lot done already. Thought I'd do a video before I got like the whole thing tore apart. So something I thought was a little interesting. Now this is the first time I've really seen any of these. So I'm not sure if this is factory or what's going on here, but this spring is just hooked to this flimsy piece of metal that's hooked up there to the dash of all places. So I'm not really sure on that one. That hole looks like a factory hole there, but it's like a spring extender. I've never seen anything like this before. And that looks like a factory style thing, but there's no cotter pin there like there should be. It should kind of go down there like that to a cotter pin, but I know somebody had this dash off, or the dash is off another tractor, or there's something weird going on with this one. Because this being a Roper 18T Hydro like that sticker does, and right here it said GT18 Hydro Drive, and that's a Sears sticker. And as you can see with this data plate I took off, it is actually a Roper. And I gotta get this done to bare metal too, because I can see somebody brush painted it. So, and the whole tractor was repainted at one point, and they did actually a really good job. I mean, there's not really any paint peeling off. It's just old, faded, and I don't really like the looks of it. I mean, if it was original paint, I'd leave it, but when someone else paints it, I mean, they did a good job and everything, but like this isn't factory. Pinstripe there isn't factory. And the way that that brown primer is fading through that white, I'm not really a big fan of that look. So the other three of these I have are either restored or like almost brand new original paint. So I decided I'm going to restore this one too. There's a look at the front of the transmission. One thing that's going on with this I'm not quite sure about is this hydro lever won't move. I've reefed on it pretty hard and I don't want to break something, so I guess if you want to push it, I guess you don't, and you just grab the forklift, lift up the rear end, and move the thing. I don't know. So next time you see this, I'll probably have the frame split in half down the middle. One last look here for my purpose on how this hydro lever goes, because that's going to come apart and I won't know how it goes back together. So I'm going to plan on taking the steering wheel off too. And yeah, I'm hoping I can just put some stuff on there and it'll come off. I need to figure out a center cap, because this is the center cap that was on it. And you'll probably recognize that this is the paint can lid. And that's how I got it. I actually forgot that that's what it was until now. Because when it was on there, it looked factory besides that hole that's there. And I tried looking through my mess of paint can lids that I've got laying around from everything. I couldn't find one that matches in there nearly as good as this one, so I don't know. I'll make something that fits in there and looks really good. So next time you see this, it should be a mess of front frame stuff, and this rear frame should be sitting here with this transmission in it, because I'm not going to take it out. So I went ahead and everything is pressure washed now. I got a bunch of stuff painted in chrome already. So steering wheel, once I peel all this tape off, that's going to look really cool in that chrome. I don't know if it was a good idea or not painting that oil cooler, but I guess what it is what it is. It's already done. So all this other stuff is really nice and clean. It's ready for paint. I guess not really. It's ready for sanding and then paint, and then wait a while and then figure out exactly if that engine I want to do is going to. So quite a bit has happened since the last time I had the camera going. I think the last time I had it going, I just had the tractor sitting on the floor all tore apart, ugly. So I got the wheels painted, the back are rattle canned. The front I did with automotive paint, which is the same as this stuff. So I got the hood all done, as well as I guess everything else, but I'll show you a couple things here. Hood turned out really nice. You can actually see the window in the background in the tractors. It's really perfect. This hood was actually one of the only ones I have that isn't dented up, it's not bent, and it doesn't have any rust on it. And I saved this piece here by taping it up, and I peeled the tape off and clear coated it without putting new paint on there, and it actually turned out really good. It's got a lot of shine to it, so that's nice. The fenders are so smooth that it almost feels like I'm wiping glass almost. It turned out that good. The inside here, that turned yellow, I'm pretty sure, because over time people spill all kinds of gas all over that fender, and that area right there will see the most gas. So a lot of times that's why that turns yellow there. So you can see the oil filter reflection on the paint. Even painted the 3-point hitch and all these other parts, spindles over there. I wanted to save the dash decal, except I peeled the tape off and I ripped part of the decal with it, so that'll get a new one of those. I can show you just how shiny this is with this piece right here. I can see myself in it, so that turned out really good. Here's another good example of how shiny this paint is. I didn't really sand this. I didn't do the best job sanding this, which kind of sucks, but you don't really see that. So story on how I can do this paint is I own a custom golf cart business, and we have a paint sprayer and all the paint set up to paint golf cart bodies. So I'm like, well, why can't I paint tractors too? So went ahead and painted this too. I didn't even wire wheel it really. I wire wheeled the hood and the floorboards down to bare metal. And the rest of it, the paint was in such good shape, it didn't even want to come off. So I just said, fine. And just sanded it really good, painted over it, and it turned out good. So, bunch of stuff I got painted. Steering wheel, I sanded it down and I painted it in bright coat chrome. Painted it in that. That seemed to turn out really good. So, have to figure out a center cap. I got all brand new key switch, solenoid, light switch. This is actually a light switch for a golf cart. It comes with the light kit. So you pull it out, turns it on. I almost think that the factory black knob would fit on here. So new rear light. The headlights are almost new. I refurbished the switch for the 3-point hitch. I took it apart and I sanded down the tabs to make it work a little bit better. Painted the radiator, which probably didn't need to be done, but I guess oh well. Front caps are chrome. I grinded down the crankshaft on the engine to 1 1/8. It was like one and something before, I forget exactly what it was, but there's remnants from that. I actually had to have the engine running to do that, and by the 5 minutes or so, I have to say 5-10 minutes I've had it running, it didn't even shake at all. It didn't miss a beat, so definitely going to be a winner there for an engine. So next time you see this, I should have it put half together, or halfway put together. Alright, so as you've seen by that, I got it quite a bit done. I actually jacked the front of the tractor way up, probably to about here, so I didn't spill any fluid for the radiator. Everything else on here is nice and tight. I'm working on the wiring right now, so that's the wiring harness that goes to the back for the rear light, as well as the electric actuator for the 3-point hitch. So the black and the green are going to go for the 3-point hitch, and the red will be for the light. I got a couple more zip ties to add to this so it doesn't unravel. Then I'm going to slide that down through the back, and then work on the rest of the wiring, which will probably be the next thing you see. So here's that. So all the wiring is done. So I'm gonna start at the back, go towards the front, and kind of show you what I did. So like I was kind of showing you before, this red wire will go to the tail light. The green and the black will go to the electric actuator for the 3-point. Now that wire is just go underneath the frame. And then the light switch wire, or the light wire, of course, goes to the light switch. And then the 3-point actuator, of course, goes to the switch for that. Kind of a little bit of a mess for wiring, but it's not too bad. I taped up everything just to kind of keep everything kind of nice and neat. Put some of these wire protectors on it too in spots I could. So brand new solenoid, brand new, all the wiring on here is brand new. So of course battery cables aren't, but everything else is. So 20 amp fuse, I figured it needed something a little bit bigger since it's going to run that actuator and everything. So all the wiring is done. I added this just in case I needed to add like electric fuel pump or something. It's a lot easier to add the wire right now than it is later on. So when you turn the key on, this is just basically key on. So as soon as the key turns on, this wire gets power to it. So up front, this wire here will go to the lights. That's just the positive that goes up there. I wrapped all of the wiring here in this coating stuff, so mounting the engine or whatever, this doesn't get smashed. Green wire I will put to the charging system on the engine, and the black wire will be the kill wire. So that's why this is a little bit shorter, so it kind of comes up like that to the engine. And that's basically the wiring, other than that's the starting wire, which is like super long, so maybe I'll end up just putting a different one on there. So yeah, next time I turn the camera on, I'll probably have the engine in and the dash on, probably getting close to test firing it and show you how it actually runs. So I just thought I'd come back and show you some progress. So that clutch, I was wondering if it was factory or not. It is actually factory, and that's because there's this little rod that goes between right here, passes through this hole right here, then goes up to right there. And with that rod right there, you cannot have this spring hooked to the cotter pin that goes on the side of the frame, because that would be in the way. So they have that little setup so that they can still have the clutch spring on there without it hitting that little bar that goes there. And what that bar does is when you push the clutch down, it will bring your forward and reverse lever to neutral. So there's a pin that goes through right here. That's actually broke off on mine. So I just took that off because it was in the way the belt was hitting it. And I figured, so since it's broke, I just took it off. So just about ready to put the engine in. I got all the throttle, choke, and all the switches on. I'm going to have to do something with this sticker because that's ugly. I wanted to put a new one on there, but I can't make a sticker that's that big. So I might just do what they did and just paint the silver back on and try to make it look as best as I can. So luckily on this style here, the steering wheel covers up most of it, and with any luck, the rest of the tractor being so nice, you won't even notice that dash. So hopefully that won't be too big of a deal, but if it is, it is. I'll have to figure it out. So I'll come back with that engine put in it. Alright, so I got a little bit more done. I added transmission fluid. As you can see, I actually moved it over a little bit. It was parked right there, and I moved it over here so I can put those fenders on. So that's probably going to be it for this video because I don't want to get it all done in one video. So next video that you see of this, I'm actually going to adjust some camera settings and upload the video in 4K so you guys can really see this thing really good. So just thought I'd do something a little bit different on that one. So when I take some nice pictures of this and that final video, you guys can see every single detail and everything on it, just like you're in person with it. So thanks for watching. I'm hoping to get that video up within the next couple days because I'll have this done probably tomorrow. So thanks for watching.